seems to do so very, very rarely. So instead, your best bet is to farm this thing from the Raging Titan in the Slaughter Shaft. Now, the Titan can be
by the way,
by killing him and purposely
I've been holding back a lot. I just want you to know, this gun, if you're going for a critical build, is the best.
But even still, you're going to have to fight 5 waves of enemies.
I'm gonna be honest. I'll show you how broken I'd be if I sit and just watch some for the challenge. This is... Hold on, I got you, I got you. Oh. Hold on, I don't even need buffs. Like, oh no, this is so hard. Just hit a critical spot and they burst. Oh, I saw a legendary enemy. Hey.
This flat off assault rifle requires you to first go through the steps to complete a side quest called Hammerlock and defeat the super annoying Anointed X4. After that, you can farm him anytime you like for a 15% chance to get a sickle to drop. Now the problem is twofold there, however. First, Anointed X4
3 million right there.
Not much is with that. But the second and more complicated problem is that only 14% of the sickles that drop will be a boom prefix sickle, as this requires
you just have to get good at aiming with this.
This works out to be about a 1 to 2% drop chance for a boom sickle every single time you farm the Anointed X4. People say there's no tough farms in Borderlands 3.
I used to run this back when I actually bought the game for the first time. It's insanely OP for no reason. Number 6 is the Cloning Maddening Tracker. Now, I know a lot of you guys saw the title of this video and immediately said to yourself, Cloning Maddening Tracker. And that's how I also know that you're a Moe's main. This amazing grenade gained notoriety early on in Borderlands 3 as the grenade. It was the best for Moe's mains to use to constantly regenerate health. I've gotten like 5 of those now.
And in order for it to be a Cloning Maddening double prefix, you need to roll 3 specific parts on it. The Bouncy, Merv, and Divider. The problem is,
sorry,
they can roll up to 8 different part rolls or have a nothing part roll in one of those slots. So, to get those exact ones is a very low chance. Now luckily, or maybe not so luckily depending on your point of view, you can farm vending machines.
Yeah, it's not that hard to get from vending machines either. Why is it not dropping? What the fuck? Did they, like, change something? This is the full power of a critical slack, bro. And I'm gonna be honest, since I didn't have any DLCs on my last one, I'm actually doing more damage. So, that's crazy. Oh god. What the fuck, bro? Okay, I forgot. I got off the cap in this. Okay, that's... Okay, stop moving.
17 million, bro?
Well, it looks like this is home for the night. Goddamn wind. Clarence?
Local officials have declared a statewide emergency as these unprecedented storms continue to rain.
I for like 2 stops. Well, I mean...
Sure. Got a bus full of prisoners heading our way. Got caught in the storm and need a place to hunker down until it's safe. Want you on your best behavior while we're here.
Let's get a few things straight. You're in my house now. I will not hesitate to shoot you if I have to.
Y'all think this is cruel and unusual right here?
You hear that?
Can you please tell me how an alligator got in your damn police station?
Storm brought him in. Could be infested with it by now.
If you want to survive the night, we're going to have to find a way to get along.
That's a bona fide cop killer right there. We're all gonna get eaten alive.
How to get my desired anointments. How to farm iridium.
Here's some information for you. Order iridium. Here's a summary for Central Mars. How to get iridium. 1. Lost enemy drops. 2. Completing challenges. 3. Farm iridium crystals. 4. Open.
Let's hunt.
Okay. Oh, that's fucked.
What's going on, guys? Killers. This does take a little bit of time because you have to save and quit. So something like the Ruiner might...
Okay.
Iridium. You can see that right here. I'm circling it with the reason that these things are in here, even though they're invisible. There's only 2. Oh my gosh, K6, this is a terrible farm. Well, guess what? There are invisible ones. Now, normally the reason that these things are in here, even though they're invisible, because when you have the mysterious artifact, you can actually see all of these things, and I guess they didn't have a better way to actually put those into the game. So you don't actually even have to have that artifact in order to get these extra iridium piles. They're always going to spawn there, and by having on the stone, as you can see, let's bust this one open. You can see how much iridium comes out there. That's a pretty decent amount of iridium. Now let's take off the stone, and let's bust this other invisible one that you can't see. Boom. And as you can see, quite a bit less iridium there. So make sure that you have a stone artifact. It's just so much more efficient. So there's going to be 4 here. There's a hidden one here. There's going to be 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, and 1 there every single time. Then when you drop down here, there's going to be 1 right here. There's going to be 1 right here, 1 right about here, and then there's going to be 2 more. There's going to be 1 that's right around here, and 1 more that's just right beside of it, right there. You'll see the melee text pop up when you're in the right spot. Punch it, and voila, there you have it. Bunch of iridium really quick and easy. Now, if you're on console, especially the old gens, I know this does take a little bit of time because you have to save and quit. So something like the Ruiner might be a better option for you guys because the Ruiner is a really small map, so it loads in quick, and the Ruiner drops quite a bit of iridium. But for everybody else, this is an extremely fast and easy iridium farm. Again, if you don't have the stone artifact, you're not going to get quite as much iridium. If you do have the stone artifact, you're going to get a good chunk of iridium. So that's all there is to it. Once you do that, you save and quit, and when you respawn in, you'll be right at that save station that I showed you just a moment ago. And from there, again, you just run over toward the chair, drop down into the cave, and punch up all of these iridium blocks. So I'm going to go back in there, show you again real quick, just so you guys have a pretty good feel for where these things are located. I don't want you guys to be confused about any of this. If you have any comments for me, let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think about this farm. Quick and easy, nice farm for you guys here. Boom. And then there's a hidden one here. Boom. Hidden hidden one around here and here. They're always in these same spots, guys. They never move. Now, what will sometimes move? God dang it. Things are located. I don't want you guys to be confused about any of this. If you have any comments for me, let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think about this farm. Quick and easy, nice farm for you guys here. Boom. And then there's a hidden one here. Boom. Hidden one around here and here. They're always in these same spots, guys. They never move. Now, what will sometimes move? God dang it. What will sometimes move is which ones are visible and which ones are invisible. As you can see, this one's visible this time, and the other one that was visible down here earlier is not. Make sure you see this thing pop up before you start punching. That's what I'm doing wrong. I'm just trying to punch knowing where they're at, and you have to have that actual text on the screen, otherwise it's not going to pop them. So there you go. Quick, easy farm. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Tap the bell icon for more, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Y'all have a great day. What's going on, guys? Killer6, and today I got you guys a quick and easy iridium farming guide. This one is super fast, super easy, not a whole lot of fluff, not a whole lot of extra stuff you gotta do. So basically you wanna head right here to the voracious canopy, and you wanna come to this spot on the map, which I marked right there. Here's where you start the voracious canopy at. Run down, you take the left-hand path, and then you just run to here. This is right outside of the area over here where it says trespassers ain't coming back. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna run over here where you can see that chair and this bush and this giant tree, and all that you need, and you don't even have to have this, but all you need is any stone artifact. Now I've got the radiation stone, there's also the corrosive stone, shock stone, all those stone artifacts. If you have any of those equipped, this is going to give you extra iridium. So as you see right now, I have 389 iridium. You can see that right here. I'm circling it with my hand. There you go. All right, so all we're going to do is we're going to run over into this cave. We're going to drop in. This is a base game map. You don't need any DLC. You don't need any DLC gear. The stone artifacts are base game. As you can see, this is the cave where you can get the dead scrap trap. If you haven't already got that, get that. Now you might notice, like, look, oh my god, there's only 2. Oh my gosh, K6 is a terrible farm. Well, guess what? There are invisible ones. Now, normally, the reason that these things are in here, even though they're invisible, because when you have the mysterious artifact, you can actually see all of these things, and I guess they didn't have a better way to actually put those into the game. So, you don't actually even have to have that artifact in order to get these extra iridium piles. They're always going to spawn there, and by having on the stone, as you can see, let's bust this one open. See how much iridium comes out there. That's a pretty decent amount of iridium. Now let's take off the stone and let's bust this other invisible one that you can't see. Boom. And as you can see, quite a bit less iridium there. So make sure that you have a stone artifact. It's just so much more efficient. So there's going to be 4 here. There's a hidden one here. There's going to be 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, and 1 there every single time. Then when you drop down here, there's going to be 1 right here. There's going to be 1 right here. 1 right about here, and then there's going to be 2 more. There's going to be 1 that's right around here, and 1 more that's just right beside of it, right there. You'll see the melee. You don't need any stone artifact. Now I've got the radiate, and what you're going to do is here's where you start the voracious canopy at. Run down, you take the left-hand path, and you.
I like your movement.
I get it. That's crazy. Will this work? Oh, it is. Okay, bro. Okay. Come on. This is trash. Okay, yeah. Yeah, no, I'm not doing this, bro. I'm gonna just play the game. Oh, wait, actually, no.
That's way back. I will.
I guess.
That's why you're back.
Check out how we made this reel. Just cover the camera, then uncover. And that's a wrap. Check out Temu and start saving more.
What's going on, guys? Killer6 back with another Borderlands Top 10 video, and this time we're taking a look at the 10 worst legendary items in Borderlands 3. This list will include the worst of each weapon type, worst shield, worst grenade, worst class mod for each character, and worst artifact. I'll also include some dishonorable mentions with each one of these. If you enjoy these types of videos, please take a second to tap that subscribe button for more. With that, let's get started. Going at number 10 on this list, let's start things off with shields. There are quite a few really bad options for shields in Borderlands 3, but for my money, the worst of the worst is the Rectifier. This shield's special ability is that when depleted, it will shock nearby enemies. And while that doesn't sound that bad by itself, heck, it might even be useful for some areas where there's lots of shielded enemies, this shield just does no damage with its special ability. It's basically like you're tickling their shields. So at this point, you're left with a depleted shield and enemies just laughing at you. Dishonorable mentions for shields go to the Impaler, the Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, the Black Hole, and since it can't be anointed, the Scream of Terror. Coming in at number 9 in the class mods category, let's break down the worst class mod for each Vault Hunter. First up for Zane is the Texpert. This one gives you a 15% chance to reset your Sentinel's duration and cooldown. And if that sounds completely worthless, well, that's because it is. There's really no reason to use this, especially when you have things like the Seeing Dead, the Antifreeze, the Executor, the Infiltrator. Even the Spy class mod gives you much better perks. And just having a 15% chance to reset your Sentinel's duration is really pointless. For Moe's, I'm going with the Bear Trooper class mod. The idea of this class mod isn't bad, but there's two other Moe's comms that accomplish the same kind of thing better. Also, this class mod rolls with 2 skill tree perks that both accomplish basically the same task in Explosive Punctuation and Grizzled. Both of them reset your cooldown time a little bit, but neither one of them are really that necessary. Poor Flak has some of the worst class mods in the game, but I'm going to go with a tie between the Rat Commander, the Trainer, and the Friend Bot as the worst of the worst. The Rat Commander gives you the special ability to have 1 extra charge of Rack Attack, a skill that cools down so quick you shouldn't have a problem basically summoning it non-stop anyhow. The Trainer gives you a 1 in 4 chance of confusing an enemy that your pet would have killed instead of killing them, and I don't really understand why you would want to do that, but whatever. And Friend Bot just gives your pet a little bit more damage and gives them a second win if you get a kill as Flak. Finally, Amara's worst class mod was a tough decision for me, so I'm going to go with the tie between the Elementalist and the Nimbus. Honestly, the Phase Over Spiritual Driver and Muse Comms are so good, it really shines a light on just how bad her other options are. Coming in at number 8 is the Grenade category. Now, like I mentioned in my best legendary items list, the grenade mods in Borderlands 3 aren't so much for killing enemies, but more for utility. But my pick for worst grenade doesn't even do utility very well, and that's the EMP grenade. Do you want a grenade that only works on shields? Well, unfortunately, I still don't really have the one for you. Not only does the EMP only work well on shields, it actually doesn't even work well on shields. That's right. The grenade that is supposed to be a shield destroyer is actually really bad at ripping shields. This honorable mentions go to the Transfusion, the Surge, and the Chupa's Organ. Coming in at number 7 is my pick for the worst artifact. Now, to me, this is an easy pick, but everybody seems to have their own least favorite. My pick is the Phoenix Tears, and it's so bad that I guarantee you that a few people watching this video probably didn't even know that it existed until now. What this artifact does is when you get a second wind coming out of Fight for Your Life, your HP will be 100%. That's it. That's what this thing does. No damage bonuses, no added perks or helpful boosts, just a full HP bar, which you can have by getting the Guardian rank perk Resilient. Making this artifact worse, in my opinion, is how ridiculously hard it is to farm it. First, you have to go to the Splinterlands, walk up the path to the Phoenix. Luckily, it's no longer a rare spawn because this farm at launch was even worse. Then, you have to kill the stupid thing 3 times before it's truly dead. And then, when it finally drops something, it's only a 10% chance that that something is the Phoenix Tears. And furthermore, this artifact doesn't even spawn with variable abilities like most legendary artifacts do. It's just literally trash. This honorable mentions for artifacts go to the Cosmic Crater, Splatter Gun, and Commander Planetoid, but even those 3 are actually useful with the right prefix roll. At number 6 on this countdown, we're taking a look at the worst SMG in the game. This one has to be the DNA. This piece of junk is a Mayhem 6 exclusive from General Trot on Desolation's Edge, so already you would think that this thing would be better than most other SMGs, but you'd be sorely mistaken. The special ability on this one is that it shoots random elemental pairs of projectiles in a double helix pattern. Normally when a Maliwan SMG shoots multiple projectiles, it leads to some crazy high damage, like the Flipper, Plasma Coil, or Gibbs Worth do, but the DNA is just straight horrible. This honorable mentions go to the SF Force, the Vanquisher, the Ripper, the Hellfire, the 9-Volt, and the Mother 2, and all those are technically even worse than the DNA, but I put the DNA at number 1 because it is a Mayhem 6 exclusive. Coming in at number 5 on our countdown, let's take a look at the worst rocket launcher. And this one was tough because there's quite a few really bad ones, but my pick for the worst of the bunch has to be the Quadrimizer. And I know for a fact that there are people watching this that either didn't know that this launcher existed, or at the very least didn't even know that its drop source had been moved from the Rampager to Dreg and Rage from the Mother of Grogans in Anvil. This launcher seemed like a really cool idea, basically giving you the same attack that the Rampager does when he jumps around the arena. It's just that it doesn't do any damage, so it's just a really bad launcher. Plus, it shoots slow as hell. Like, if you need to get a second wind by using this to kill like a small trash mob enemy, well, you're going to be disappointed. Dishonorable mentions for rocket launchers go to the Tunguska, yes, even after the buff, and the Satisfaction launcher from DLC 3. Coming in at number 4 is my pick for the worst pistol, and it pains me to combine those words in that order since there are so many amazing pistols in this game, but I guess they can't all be amazing. For me, the Link has always stood out as a stinker since this legendary Atlas pistol can't spawn with an anointment. But there's another pistol that's equally as bad, if not worse, and that's the Scorpio. Now, at launch, the Scorpio couldn't even drop. It was in the game code, and it was supposed to drop from Judge Hightower, but for whatever reason, they never assigned it a drop rate. So it sat there dormant for months once. And honestly, unless they buff it, it needs to go back into stasis. So I'm giving number 4 as a combo victory for the Link and the Scorpio. Congratulations, you two, you suck. This honorable mentions for pistols go to the Magnificent, the AAA, the Baby Maker, and the Love Drill. At number 3 on this countdown, we jump over to assault rifles. Now, there is a ton of amazing assault rifles, but the bad ARs are very, very bad. And for me, the worst of them is the Bearcat. For God's sake, this gun was a pearlescent on Borderlands 2. So when I saw it returning for Borderlands 3 as a legendary, well, I was expecting it to at least be useful.
The
but I
Bearcat
couldn't
was
have
always
been
ass.
more wrong. This gun shoots out a horizontal row of grenades, and I know what you're thinking. Sweet, Moe should be able to wreck with that. Well, yeah, she should be able to, but if even Moe's can't make this gun work, you know it sucks. Hell, this footage is with me using a 300/90 anointment, and the first hit is still embarrassingly bad. Even in arms race, this thing is absolutely worthless when it drops. It's bad in normal mode, bad in mayhem mode. It's just bad. This honorable mentions go to the Tribal, the Mutant, and the gun that I probably would have picked if the Bearcat wasn't in the game, the Hand of Glory. Coming in at number 2, in the role of the worst shotgun in a game full of amazing shotguns, is the Creeping Death. Again, here's another shotgun that a lot of players probably don't even know about, since it has a very specific drop source in the Mother of Grogans. This shotgun shoots out a green explosive round that sits on the ground waiting for you to reload, and then homes in on the nearest enemy and proceeds to do literally no damage. Oh, and did I mention it can only spawn a corrosive? This thing is just literally trash. Like, if I see a Creeping Death, even on normal mode, I am just leaving it on the ground 90% of the time. This honorable mentions go to the TK's Wave and Tidal Wave, the Garcia, which actually used to be great until they messed up the fire rate. The Sledge's shotgun, please buff this gun, Gearbox, I'm begging you. The Frequency, the Blind Sage, Chandelier, and even the Horizon. Finally, coming in at the illustrious number 1 position on this list is the worst sniper rifle in Borderlands 3. And this was actually the first item I thought of when I decided to do a worst items list, the Malik's Bane. This sniper's special ability is that shots ricochet, and you can do an alternate firing mode that turns the gun into a shotgun, where it actually does a smidge of damage. Making matters worse for this sniper is that it drops from an enemy that we mentioned earlier, the Phoenix. That's right, this stupid gun also has a 10% drop rate from the Phoenix, but lucky for us, it can world drop. Yay. The Malik's Bane is an absolute meme in the Borderlands 3 community, a symbol of how bad a truly bad legendary can actually be. This honorable mentions go to the Woodblocker. Yep, still bad even after the buff. The Tankman Shield, which for a Mayhem 4 exclusive sure feels a lot more like a green or blue rarity weapon than a legendary, and the Narp. I hope you guys enjoyed this top 10 list of worst legendary gear in Borderlands 3. If you did, then hit that like button. I'd greatly appreciate it. Also, let me know in the comment section below what your least favorite items are, and don't forget to subscribe for more Borderlands content, including playthroughs, top 10s, for its amazing gun diversity, but sometimes certain weapons are so strong that they throw weapon balance completely out the window. These are my top 10 most overpowered weapons in Borderlands history.
And number 10 is...
At number 10, the double-penetrating Unkempt Herald from Borderlands 2. In Borderlands 2, players have the ability to farm Savage Lee at around level 10, and Savage Lee has a 10% drop chance for the Unkempt Herald, one of the most easily recognizable, strong, and beloved weapons in Borderlands history. This gun, regardless of parts or prefix, would easily carry most players for 10 to 20 levels in Borderlands 2, because you can get it so early, combined with its power, and then the fact that you can get it again from torque vendors in the Badass Crater DLC makes this an easy first item on the list. And a lot of you guys will think that it belongs higher, but trust me, this spot's actually kind of generous.
Number 9!
At number 9, the Machine from Borderlands the pre-sequel. A lot of Borderlands players remember the Lyuda from Borderlands 2 as being this amazing high fire rate sniper rifle, but the Machine from Borderlands the pre-sequel made the Lyuda look like it was shooting in slow motion. The Machine was also ridiculously easy to obtain, appearing semi-regularly in vending machines. The only downside to this gun is that it would absolutely tear through your ammo, but not before you melted down anything on the screen that you were shooting with this thing.
Number 8!
At number 8, the Monarch from Borderlands 3. If you have ever seen any flak build where they literally remove a boss's health bar in nanoseconds, then you've most likely seen the Monarch. This gun is available in a ×4 or a ×8. Variant, and both absolutely destroy everything in sight. The Monarch also has the distinction of being a fairly easy to obtain Mayhem 6 and above exclusive. Kilovolt isn't exactly a super challenging fight for one of the strongest assault rifles in Borderlands history, but the massive amount of parts and elemental variations will keep you farming for hours to get exactly what you're after. Switching this gun into bipod mode will prevent you from running, sliding, or jumping, but will also turn this gun into a laser beam of absolute death. Honestly, most people will tell you just use the ×4 version to minimize your reloading, keep your DPS high, but any Monarch will tear up nearly any foe you encounter.
Number 7!
And number 7, the Double Anarchy from Borderlands 1. This non-legendary, non-unique weapon is actually stronger than most weapons of higher rarity, by a lot. The Double Anarchy was one of those guns you could snag fairly early in a playthrough on Borderlands 1, and it would last you a ridiculously long time, absolutely melting enemies even while hip firing. Borderlands 2 had a similar gun in the last go, but it pales in comparison to the Double Anarchy.
And now for number 6!
At number 6, the Pimpernel from Borderlands 2. This gun remains one of the most well-known unique weapons in the history of Borderlands. Aim low and the projectiles hit and spread up and outward, impacting multiple enemy hitboxes and wrecking everything in sight. The main downside of the Pimpernel is you can only get one per character per playthrough legitimately. That said, even a bad roll Pimpernel is better than most legendary and pearlescent gear in Borderlands 2 at endgame, and it's obtained from one of the easiest side missions in the Captain Scarlet DLC. The Pimpernel is one of those guns I'd absolutely love to see return again in a future installment, but until then, at least we have our number 5 item.
And here we are at number 5!
At number 5, the Complex Root. This Borderlands 3 sniper rifle takes a cue from the Pimpernel and does crazy things to enemies no matter what part of the body you hit them at. The Root actually takes it up a notch by splintering in what feels like 100 directions at once and literally lighting up your screen with projectiles. Combine it with anything that boosts your splash damage radius and the entire screen full of one of the best launchers in Borderlands 3 and possibly in Borderlands history. The Kick Charger is capable of one-tapping a lot of enemies with the right gear and build combo. But even with without the right min-max building gear, this gun is absolutely insane. You slide and charge up your shot, and then shoot an enemy and watch their health bar just completely disappear. The only downside is that the kick charger is actually a bit challenging to obtain, requiring you to go through arms race and extract it. So if you're looking for a god roll version, you might spend a very, very long time hunting for it. That said, just like the Pimpernel, even a bad one is still very good.
Down to number 3.
At number 3, the Free Radical from Borderlands 3. Another gun that's amazing no matter how bad of a roll you get. The Free Radical in Borderlands 3 is commonly referred to as being a power-crept hellshock, but in my opinion, it's actually unique enough onto itself. It's true that it's a very overpowered Maliwan pistol, and it's actually pretty easy to obtain, requiring you just to kill Beef Pliskin in the Ava Murder Mystery Squad.
Come back to me. Stop.
Borderlands 3 has a ton of amazing weapons and gear, and in this video I'm going to break down the best of the best for each category, from pistols to snipers, shields, artifacts, and every other item type. These are my 5 best in slot legendary items in Borderlands 3. Let's start things off with sniper rifles, since I haven't previously ranked those in this game, and I really, really like them right now.
Number 5.
At number 5, the Lyuda. This Borderlands 2 classic made its return to Borderlands 3 as a base game item that you can get by completing the Target of Opportunity quest from Zero, or you could get it from Tremendous Rex, the final boss of the Cistern of Slaughter, at a 50% drop chance. At launch, the Lyuda was absolutely ridiculous for damage because it had a bug that gave it an extra bullet with each shot, but the mag size was always problematic for most Vault Hunters. But since then, Gearbox has actually buffed this thing 3 times, dramatically increasing the weapon damage, reload speed, and even increasing the mag size by 150%. And honestly, this version of the Lyuda is quite a bit stronger than the Borderlands 2 version now, especially since you can get it in every element. You can also mitigate the ammo consumption on every single Vault Hunter. With Zane, you can use the clone active ammo regen anointment. With Moze, just spec into your ammo regen skills. With Flak, you can use my Destroyer of Worlds build and keep your ammo strong by using it while in fadeaway. And with Amara, using Dread, you can refill your mag just by killing phase-grassed enemies. Or conversely, just use a Terror ammo anointment on any Vault Hunter and keep your ammo up non-stop. The Lyuda has had a long, strange journey in Borderlands 3, but it's absolutely amazing right now.
Moving on to number 4.
Coming in number 4 is the Boogeyman, yet another Vladoff sniper rifle, and one that a lot of people considered a power-crept Lyuda until the Lyuda was buffed. The Boogeyman actually has the amazing ability to do weapon element splash damage with its shots, and on kill has a small chance to spawn a Boogeyman skull that will seek out enemies and explode, dealing non-elemental grenade damage. On top of that, this gun has a 60% chance to not even consume ammo. All of these add up to make this an absolutely amazing sniper rifle, edging out the amazing Lyuda just by a bit. In the hands of Moze with splash perks, this sniper is god tier. Even holding this in your hands, jumping into Ironberry getting kills will also spawn Boogeyman skulls, making it even more ridiculous. But honestly, this thing is amazing on every single Vault Hunter. The Boogeyman is obtained in arms race, from these chests, as a world drop, or from Heavyweight Harker, the final boss.
Number 3.
At number 3 is another returning Borderlands 2 weapon, but as a different weapon type this time around, the Sandhawk. This doll sniper used to be a SMG on Borderlands 2 and was renowned as one of the strongest weapons in that game when paired with a B-shield. In Borderlands 3, it's now a sniper, but it works pretty much the same as it used to, shooting out 7 orbs that fly in the shape of a bird flapping its wings, but it no longer requires the B-shield to be extremely strong. Now, these projectiles that it shoots move slower than typical sniper rounds, but they do deal elemental splash damage, making them extremely powerful. It can spawn with any element, but cannot be non-elemental. A lot of people complain about the switch from SMG to sniper for this one, but honestly, this gun is still a beast. Now, Gearbox did hit it with a bit of a nerf back in 2020, increasing the shot cost from 2 ammo to 3 ammo per shot and removing 2 of the projectiles. But they later did a global sniper buff of 20% that atoned for that just a smidge. The Sandhawk drops from Katagala on Mayhem 6 and above, or from Scourge or Anathema in the Guardian Takedown.
And we're bringing along now to number 2.
And number 2 is one of my all-time favorite weapons in Borderlands history, the Skull Masher. This Jacob sniper rifle has appeared in every single Borderlands game so far, including Tales from the Borderlands. What makes this sniper so damn good is the projectile count and the ability for those projectiles to deal crazy good critical hit damage. Land shots to an enemy's dome and watch their heads explode, or just use this thing like a shotgun, run right up on somebody and hip fire as fast as you can pull the trigger and melt them down. The Skull Masher has had 2 buffs since launch, one being that flat 20% buff for all snipers like I mentioned before, and the other being a 50% damage buff back in 2020. This gun drops from Ice to the Invincible in Skittermaw Basin in DLC 2, the Guns, Love, and Tentacles DLC.
And finally, here we are at number 1.
Finally, the best overall sniper in Borderlands 3 is almost certainly no surprise to anybody who has ever used it before, the Complex Root. This Malawan sniper requires a 1-second charge up, and then it will shoot out a 2-round burst, which then spawns 13 additional bullets, bouncing around in a zigzag pattern, dealing crazy damage to anything that it touches. The additional projectiles explode on impact or after a 2-second delay and deal weapon element splash damage. It will always spawn with a combination of 2 elements to switch between. I've often compared this gun to the Pimpernel in Borderlands 2, and even though they're very different in what they do, both, however, deal massive damage outside of their initial shot, and splash damage is crazy strong in Borderlands 3. This gun also benefited from the 20% sniper rifle buff and didn't even really need it, but it also had an additional buff in late 2020 that lowered its weapon charge time as well. The Complex Root, when paired with a splash damage perk, either on artifacts, class mods, or even with anointments, is capable of eliminating the entire screen of enemies, but be warned, it can also eliminate your vision and even put yourself in fight for your life. The Complex Root is obtainable in DLC 3, The Bounty of Blood, from Lanny Dixon in Ashfall Peaks at an impressive 33% drop chance. Alright, up next we have the top 5 best in slot pistols.
And here we are at number 5.
The
Free gift.
The Beacon. This Malawan pistol shoots out energy orbs that deal splash damage in whatever element you have on the gun. Additionally, on reload, this gun releases a Nova of the weapon element that deals splash damage, and as Nova deals more damage, the fewer bullets remaining in the mag when you reload. This gun is one of the most versatile, strong, and fun weapons on this list, and that's saying something since there's some amazing weapons on here. The Beacon can roll with any 2 elements. Being a Malawan, this allows you to change on the fly in ways that a lot of other weapons can't. Obviously, this gun lends itself beautifully to Moze and Amara, but I've enjoyed using this gun on Flak and Zane as a change of pace from my usual gear with them as well. The Beacon drops from Jarek Logan in Blood Sudden Canyon on DLC 3, The Bounty of Blood, at a very solid 33% drop rate.
Moving on to number 4.
Moving on to number 4 now, and the Tizzy takes this spot. This COV pistol is one of the overall most powerful weapons in the game, capable of ridiculous damage per second because of its combination of high damage and fire rate. This gun can also spawn in any element, giving it maximum versatility as well. Basically, the longer you hold the trigger, the faster this gun will shoot. Every 6th bullet will ricochet, and every 12th bullet is amped and deals 70% bonus damage. There are 2 downsides to this gun, however. First, you can only obtain this gun from Arms Race or the Diamond Loot Room from DLC 6 if you get super lucky. And secondly, this gun will eat your ammo like I eat jelly beans, and that's a lot. But with Moze, you can mitigate some of the ammo consumption, and with Zane, you can use the While Clone is Active ammo regen anointment. Or, since we can now enable Bloody Harvest year-round, just turn that on and reroll this thing to have Terror ammo regen and get yourself a grenade that applies Terror to yourself. Boom! Infinite ammo Tizzy. The Tizzy can be obtained from the Hunker Bunker Room in Arms Race, which is located right here on your map. It can also be obtained randomly in that DLC as a world drop from vending machines or from the final boss, the Heavyweight Archer.
And now we're down to number 3.
Sliding in at number 3 is the Unkempt Herald. This classic from Borderlands 2 returns in Borderlands 3 and is now even better than its predecessor. Even though you can't roll a double penetrating prefix on this gun in Borderlands 3, it doesn't actually matter. Any version of this gun you get is going to absolutely wreck enemies. Unlike the Borderlands 2 version, this one can now roll all of the elements or be non-elemental. When you shoot this gun, it fires off 3 gyrojets that will split into a row of 7 gyrojets that explode on impact, dealing splash damage in your gun's weapon element type. Now, don't be fooled by the item card. There's a ×4 version of this gun, and it needs to be avoided at all costs, as all it does is consume 1 extra ammo per shot without giving you any extra projectiles. This gun can spawn with splash anointments, and those are very powerful with this weapon. At launch, this version of the Herald was good, but not great, but a buff on June 6, 2021 gave this gun a 100% damage buff, propelling it to the top of the best pistols list, and honestly making it even stronger than the Borderlands 2 version. You can farm the Herald from Caper Dowd and Blood Sun Canyon on DLC 3, The Bounty of Blood, or it can world drop from other various named enemies or chests in that DLC.
This one almost made it number 1, but it didn't, so it's number 2!
At number 2 on my list, and honestly my favorite overall pistol in the game, is the Light Show. Now, even though it's my favorite pistol, I recognize that it's not the strongest overall, thus the second spot on this list. This flat-off pistol shoots 4 bullets in a square pattern. That pattern will rotate clockwise while firing, consuming just 1 ammo per shot. Using this gun from medium to close range, you can keep all those bullets on target and absolutely shred enemies. This gun can spawn in all of the elements or it can be non-elemental, giving it exceptional versatility. In the hands of Zane, this is one of the most enjoyable gameplay experiences I've ever had in any Borderlands game ever, running and gunning and just having a blast. But this gun is also great on every single vault hunter in nearly any situation. It's also extremely easy to farm, having one of the fastest farming routes of any gun on this list. You can get the Light Show as a dedicated drop from Blazodactyl at 33% drop rate in the Obsidian Forest and DLC 3, The Bounty of Blood.
And finally, here we are at number 1!
Surprising absolutely nobody at number 1 on this list is the Free Radical. This Malawar pistol might be locked to shock as the only elemental option, but don't let it fool you. This gun doesn't really care what enemies resist, and it will shred everything in sight. The Free Radical shoots out energy orbs that deal shock, splash damage, and each enemy that is hit will spawn a homing bullet that only homes back in on the hit target. These homing bullets do not deal splash damage, but this creates a wild light show of bullets and splash damage that leaves everything on the screen dead in mere seconds. Probably the only weakness this weapon has, besides the element lock, is that like all Malawans, your first shot requires a little bit of a charge up, but after that it's game over for literally everything on the screen. The Free Radical is arguably one of the strongest overall weapons in the game, with a higher base damage than a lot of sniper rifles, oddly enough. You can farm the Free Radical from Beef Pliskin and Karath Canyon on Pandora by doing the Ava Murder Mystery side quest and DLC 6, The Director's Cut. Now we have the top 5 best in slot shotguns.
Here we are at number 5!
At number 5, the Convergence. This shotgun is basically the conference call of Borderlands 3. Shooting an enemy will spawn multiple orbs around the enemy that penetrate the target, dealing exceptional damage. Obtainable from the Hag of Fervor and the True Trials version of the Trial of Fervor on Skydrown Pulpit at a 50% drop chance, or from its original source of Dr. Benedict and the Fantastic Buster Plug DLC. This gun is strong and fun, and it gives me that conference call nostalgia that I was missing in Borderlands 3. Even though we have a conference call in this game, it just sucks. This gun is available in every element or even in a non-elemental version. The shotgun has good fire rate, accuracy, damage, and it's just a fun weapon.
What did I say? A fucking million?
Number 4!
This
At
is
number
like
4, the Heartbreaker. The Heartbreaker is one of several weapons returning from Borderlands 2 that's actually even better than its previous versions. A Moxie weapon, the Heartbreaker heals you for 20% of the damage you deal to enemies, and this gun deals very good damage as well. In Borderlands 2 and the pre-sequel, the Heartbreaker only did 2% of damage as healing as a comparison. The Heartbreaker shoots in the shape of a heart and is available in every element except for radiation. During my shotgun's only flag playthrough, this weapon was instrumental in my survivability during the Himwick fight. Not only that, it was actually one of the stronger shotguns I had during that entire playthrough. Basically a shotgun version of the Grog Nozzle from Borderlands 2, but actually better for dealing damage. The Heartbreaker drops from Georgia's Armada in the Hands of Jackpot DLC.
Sorry about all that. The madman pretty much runs the country these days. The rest of the place is pretty messed up. He leaves me alone.
that's just trash.
Welcome to my... Oh my gosh. Yes. I am known as Flag. If you are not complete, who are you? Well... Also free. At least I'm the part that remembers how to be more than a screaming murder machine. How did you even get in here? Tanner said somebody strange judge discovered a bunch of psychics and psychos. She calls it Vault. Tanner should have guessed. As for what makes the madman mad, I've wondered that myself. I don't think he wants me to. If your so-called Vault Hollow is anywhere, that's where it'll be. It's kept me out of there for as long as I can remember. Maybe you can sneak in. Worth a shot. Slice you through the ears! Yeah, we got it, drama queen. What I wouldn't give to be rid of this guy. You're my own saucy amputation. Good, we're on the same page. Maybe I'll just leave with the Vault Hunter. I doubt it's an option. Think about it. If Tannis can get you in here, she can probably get me out, right? Maybe put me in like a robot body. At this point, though, as long as I don't have to deal with this guy anymore, let's start shipping the lump of mayonnaise. Tannis, can you do that?
Oh, absolutely. Store a human mind on a memory-sizable postage stamp. I have a drawer full, but, as requested, I will track down an A&A jar.
All you gotta do is open up the door to Vault Hollow for our guests and get what you always wanted. Me out of here. For good. Cut the chain link to Razor and let death the blade. Sounds like he's just decided to leave me as I am. All right, man. Where are the keys? Ruins the spray. What do you mean you lost them? Of course. Just want to talk about it. Polish the chalice. Shine the spittoon. Make mirrors of monsters. Okay. He said to go through my hour and find the parts of this statue. We need a buzz and a mouse. What is its purpose? Shake the meat man. That's an old memory. Or at least it was before this guy was away. Hope you're up for some weird stuff.
Okay. This is actually a fire DLC. I like it a lot.
Probably in for a pretty violent ride. You should cheer. There's a chest.
What the fuck?
This sweet loot. Still functioning in real space.
Oh, yes, they will remain perfectly functional. So long as you constantly concentrate on unbelieving in their non-impermanent anti-existence, naturally.
Okay.
Well, guess we better get to it. Go on, no point in turning back now.
It's a mess. Okay, now I'm just getting too much food.
Okay, he's really excited to start looking for that buzzer. Let him know when he's ready to go.
Okay, I gotta re-roll some stuff. Yes, I'll take that.
I missed this little threat. This distract one. Yes. The fledgling. It's a loss.
Suspected raiders on a number of missions, but I don't recall them being so meat-centric. Such as the leading nature of our lives. Remember each time we recall like children playing
Oh yeah, no, I need more shit. Fuck, that's... What the fuck?
Can't really blame him.
You should go. I can't abandon that retreat you're in. Better keep your distance if you don't want to get hurt.
Bro.
What am I even doing here? What's the point? Nothing changed. Do you have any idea what that's like?
Death calls to us all, friend. It is a potent lure. We search for answers, find none, and begin to consider the void. But after years of working in the arms, I learned that a thing isn't useful because you understand it, but because it's not. We must live and learn to find joy in the hunt for answers, not the answers themselves.
Huh. Thanks. I'm gonna head out. I've got a lot on my mind.
Sniffed it out. Did you? Indeed.
Yeah, I remember. We used the COV's own weapons against them to breach the fortress gate. Find the catapults fault.
I'm not sure why this mission's important. I guess it was the first time we fought with the Crimson Raiders in a while. Otherwise, it was pretty uneventful.
It was mine.
In order to achieve our goal. Then again, imagine slaughtering young children will pose a problem. Mouth-watering Maurice is giving me morale building. I hope I am doing it right.
Wait, wait, the fucking dinosaur? That literally. I'll take it. Wait, I'll fuck up. Don't tell me.